Hi guys, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery, and I'm located in Van.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Highland Heights, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk. Okay, I think we're fine. Hi Ryan.
Hi, we're live.
We're live, and we haven't been talking for the last 2 hours.
Yeah, I just when I hung up, it's just over 2 hours. I was like, shit, I'm hungry.
I made dinner while you were doing all that, and I should have. I,
That's
you
all
should
right.
you should have gotten some food.
That's all right. Rachel's making meatball subs,
Ooh, yum.
so I'll eat that after we're done here.
Yeah, well, this should be a quick episode because we're gonna do pot swap.
Yeah, I wonder how many times we've said that and actually stuck to quick, but I think we're kind of teetering out after the last 2 hours. So
I agree. I think we're tearing out, and and I think that our quick is actually going to be quick.
yeah,
Um,
it's possible time.
it's pot swap time.
I feel like the month of September flew, so it's it's nearly over. And we were like, shit, we gotta get on Pop Swap.
What was the response that I gave you the first time you were like, we have to talk about pot swap? I think I said gross.
Yeah. You said gross or you said ew. I can't remember.
Ew. Gross.
What is it? I
Yep.
think this is our sixth year? I think 2018 was our first one or 20 I think it was 2018.
I think it was 2018
Yeah.
because I want to say that we
2018.
did it before we started the podcast.
This is our seventh year.
Shut the fuck up.
If it was 18, I'm pretty sure it was 18.
I'm pretty sure it was 18 too. That doesn't math.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Wow.
It's our seventh year.
That explains my grossness. All right.
We started from like 100 people. Now we're up to over 1,000. Like
I
we're impacting a lot of people here.
I know I think that it's funny because like Eric yesterday was like, "Why do you keep doing it?" And I was like, "Because it makes so many people happy." And
And Ryan is so disciplined that he will not give it up.
that too. But it does really make a lot of people happy and in the moment and seeing people super happy, it makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah, we send the feedback out every year right after it, and it like caps it off and just makes it that much better. It's hard to get the full scope. I mean, you're just flipping through, you're seeing stories that people are sharing and the posts that they make when they're unboxing and all that, but it's hard to feel the scope of it until you start reading like hundreds of responses of people that are like, so glad you all are doing this. It's the highlight of my year.
Yeah.
Just posting on Instagram yesterday saying, hey, pot swap details are gonna be coming out soon. Everybody was like doing their emojis and saying how excited they were and it's their favorite time
Yeah.
of year and all that. And it's just like, okay, this kind of puts it in perspective.
It really is fun and I love giving. I love the giving part. Obviously, I mean, there's no question that the worst part for us is the people that don't have a good time. It's not even the people that like are assholes about things, which is very few. But it's for me, it's like sad when something doesn't happen and I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah.
I'm sad for the other person. Like,
Do you
and
mean
to
when it doesn't meet their expectations?
No, not necessarily when it doesn't meet their expectations, but like if somebody ships something and it broke, or i- if they were really excited about something and it never came, stuff like that. That makes me sad. But
Yeah.
like you said, the percentage of people that aren't don't have a good time versus the percentage of people that do is
It's
very,
nowhere near. It's
yeah.
like less than 5% don't have a good time.
Hmm.
And I mean, just like negative comments, if you get really bad negative comments on anything, those tend to weigh on you a little bit. So you gotta kind of, I think the years under our belt has helped with that,
Oh, 100%.
but it's not bad enough to where we're like, well, we're just not gonna do this at all then.
No. And every year it gets easier to do on our end,
A
you
little
know.
bit. We'll see.
Y-
This year's a little different, so I don't know. We'll see if we get any stink from people, but
Yeah, we might have some growing pains on this year, but we'll see.
yeah.
Should we should we get the awkward
What?
part right out of the way?
Well,
Like,
no. What if people don't know? Let's say somebody's stumbling upon this and they don't know what pot swap is. How would you explain it? Because I'm guessing there's a lot of people that have just found pot swap in the last, I don't know, maybe yesterday or something that somebody else shared, and they have no idea what this is about.
sure. So, Pot Swap is essentially a secret Santa or a secret gift exchange. And you don't have to believe in Santa and you don't have to believe in Christmas. Um um but it's a secret gift exchange that it is specifically for potters, and we started
Or
it.
ceramic artist. You don't have to be a potter necessarily.
Right,
You could just
ceramic
you
art.
work in clay.
People that make clay, not polymer clay, regular clay. Now, of course, PS, if you make like polymer clay earrings and you also have regular clay, send the earrings as well. But not in place. Anyway, um, but yeah, so it's like a secret gift exchange, and you everybody makes a piece that we recommend being like 20 to $50, you know, a good piece, something that you're proud of, something that you would sell to somebody, and then you ship it off to a recipient that you have received the coordinates for,
Mhm.
and
Well,
uh,
we randomly assign them behind the scenes for you,
yep,
and
we
we
randomly.
send them to you. We send you an email with that person's information, so you can look them up on Instagram. You can,
Yep.
look up where they're located, find out more about them, and you're gonna
Give you enough
send
time.
that person.
Give you
Yeah.
enough time to like find, you know, if you don't want to start until you find out who your person is, that's completely fine. And then you can gear it towards that person if you'd like. And yeah, and then you ship it off to them, and they're not shipping it back. They're not shipping a pot back to you. They're actually shipping a pot to somebody completely random. So you actually get two different connections. Uh which is nice because, you know, let's say you accidentally, unfortunately, didn't have a good connection on one of them, then you at least have somebody else. So,
Right. And then
that's,
hopefully you develop other connections with people as you see. If you follow the Instagram account, which is PotSwap Official, if you follow that account, we have it separate, and you can see all the stories people share, and they tag PotSwap as they're making pieces, they share as they're boxing things up, as they're unboxing. So you get to see all the excitement of what other people are opening and sending. And
yeah.
it's a very communal
Who are
activity.
some people that I was going to list a few people that we both know from specifically from PodSwap. One of them is Josh because he
Ooh.
complained about something, and then Josh Heim, and
Josh Heim, yeah.
then
JH
one
Pottery Works.
is actually Aletha. I feel like Aletha we didn't really know before PodSwap.
Yeah, that's possible.
I don't remember.
The people that I have, yeah, I would say that I know more deeply are a lot of the volunteers that help us out and
Yeah.
have helped us out over the years that typically like run the Instagram account for a week
Yeah.
during PodSwap because it's a lot to take on, and it's not something that myself or Becca on our own can, maintain a Instagram account for 1,000 people participating. It's tough. So I would say those folks are some of the ones that I've, got to know their work more as well as just as a person. It's kind of nice to.
Yeah, it's really nice for that. And like, I don't know, it is really cool. It's very community building. Um, it's just great. And like some people have taken the pot swap. kind of like theme and moved it into their own personal community studios, which has been really great.
Yeah.
And we are absolutely 155,000% more than happy to give you pointers if that's something that you want to do and
Yeah.
have it.
We've had two or three folks that have reached out and said, "Hey, I want to do this in my local studio. How can I do this? Or how do you approach this? How do you randomly assign people? How do you, we've also
Yeah,
got another one that was more vague and it was like a bowl swap, but it was still public or
yeah.
because people are always asking us, "Hey, could you do this more than once a year?" We'd love to, but that's a lot of effort.
No,
And
we
I feel
wouldn't
like,
we would
I
not
mean,
love to.
if we had the ability,
Yes.
yeah. Um, yeah, so it's a lot for us, but we try to focus it around this time of year. It's kind of an end of the year, start of the new year, sort of
Yeah.
timing. And
And if you believe in Christmas or gift giving it during this time of year, some people I know that some people like this is one of the only gifts that they get. For me, this will be probably the only gift that I get at Christmas. So, well, maybe, I don't know. I'm actually going home to Christmas for Christmas this year,
mm,
but typically it's the only like physical gift that I get during the year. So that is exciting.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
all right.
so we've been doing this for a while. It started with 100 people. We did a little over 1,000 people last year for 2023. We had people from all over the world. US and Canada are typically the biggest groups of folks that join us. We were looking at the numbers. It looks like about 900 folks are within US and Canada, and then there were about 100 folks outside of that. So, Europe and Australia, other areas in Asia. I don't know if we had an Africa participant. We might have had we've had a Africa in the past, but so a few South America, but yeah, all over. There's no limitations on who can and can't do it. You just have to be a ceramic artist. You have to
Yeah.
have, made the piece yourself, ideally within the year, not a second, not something that's flawed and cracked or broken or, not something you'd be proud to send to somebody. So,
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Last year, my favorite like weird coincidence was that we had two people that lived in Israel and they were like a block apart. And I don't know if they actually knew each other. And I thought that was,
that's true. Yeah. I think that might have been the one time we'd actually had anybody from that country specifically, and we had two of them. So,
and we had two of them, which was wild.
yeah.
So, yeah, we've had people from Japan, I think Japan and China and Australia and
There's always quite a few in Australia, New Zealand
New Zealand,
area.
and lots of in British Columbia, obviously. I don't think we've ever had anybody from like Ireland.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I know we've had people from Scotland,
I think
but
we might have had somebody from Ireland before.
yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of fun countries that you're like, what?
It's cool because we typically put it in a
A
Google
map.
map, and then we can see visually where folks are, and it really does kind of put in perspective how many people we're talking about and how wide ranging it is. So, you know, I'd love to see more international folks join us as we keep growing this year over year. So,
Yeah. So we have a few changes this year than what we've done in the past. And I think we should start with the most obvious change, which is that this year you have to buy your way in. Yeah.
you have to spend a whopping $5
Five
USD,
dineros.
$5 USD to join.
And
Historically, we've taken donations,
yep.
but I there's kind of I don't know. We were playing around with this the last couple years. I think we were considering it. How would we actually do it? And um, what are the benefits of it? Would there be a big enough stink about people not wanting to pay for it? But, the work that we do to make it happen and all the behind the scenes things that need to happen to make it go smoothly, um, add up. Plus, the feedback that we get around those folks that don't have a good time and the number of people that just don't receive anything is pretty disappointing for looking at the numbers. Like it's hard to get a scope. I think we did ask a question in the survey, did you receive something or did you not? And it feels like there's enough people that don't receive something that it's like we need to put something in place that will hopefully
Incentivize.
make participants feel like they have more skin in the game. I get it's only $5, but it at least shows some level of commitment because
Yeah.
there's always this rush to get signed up and there's no screens attached when you sign up and some people might forget that they signed up or not realize like what they're committing to. So we hope that at least putting some financial requirement on there, it will make sure that you're committed to it. Um, I would say that's probably the driving factor. It's not to like make us thousands of dollars. It's like that's not the reason. Um,
Yeah, no, no.
I mean, we haven't paid ourselves for it. We historically have been like, okay, if there's like any donations that we get in excess, we typically will give it back to the volunteers, which we've done in the past. Um,
And
in
we
advance.
pay for shipping if one, if somebody is in need, two, if they didn't get a package. Like if they didn't get a pot, then we have a list of people that are willing to send a second pot, and we always pay the shipping for the second pot if we can. Because some people are like, don't worry about it, but we always try to. And so it kind of goes towards that, and it also goes towards, you know, our volunteers, giving back to them.
Yeah, did you mention the service that we actually use, the mail merge service that
Yep.
we need
Yeah.
to actually send out the emails? That's like an annual fee to do that.
Yep. So it's
Um,
like you said, it's not like we're not trying to make so much money that, blah blah blah. That's not our goal at all. I think actually that's like the least of the reasons
yeah.
for me, not for Brian probably, um but
I mean, I
really,
think it will be nice to a point to get to a period where we're like, you know what, we're actually like we're putting effort forward. We've been volunteering for 7 years. Like
yeah,
to expect that you're going to continue to do this with absolutely nothing in return besides the goodwill and the like
yeah,
I don't think that's unreasonable, but it's not. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I don't,
yeah,
will the $5 entry fee do what we expect it to do and what we hope it'll do?
which
Probably
is
not
more
100%.
accountable. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that it's going to work 100%, but is it getting us closer
Yeah, I think so.
to where we want it to be?
Yeah.
Um, and I don't foresee that it'll be like, okay, well, we need to up that number higher so it makes people have more skin in the game. It's like you're still paying for shipping, so you're paying something and the value of your piece that you're sending out if you were to sell it.
Yeah.
There's still money involved there on your side as a participant that
Yeah.
you are giving, but um, still keeping with the spirit of pot swap, having it about giving and not all about receiving. Like I want to get something that's the equivalent value of what I sent out because otherwise I'm gonna feel like I'm shortchanged or whatever. It shouldn't be about that. It's more
Yeah.
about giving, like Becca said. Um, so that's the biggest change
Yep, that's the biggest change.
for this year. Um, the way that you're gonna go about doing that is you're gonna actually purchase it on our website. So, years past we've done Google Forms. That's been great. That's made it easy for us to collect the information in a nice way, but it's also not as good in some ways. It doesn't ensure that you're actually putting in a real email address. It doesn't ensure that, well, I guess they could still, you probably still have to put it in an email address format, I guess, if you buy it on our website, but there's nothing to ensure that the shipping address is actually right. It's a real shipping address. Like,
Like in the right format. like, yeah.
Yeah, some people can put like 123
Like,
Main Street and it doesn't include anything else. It's,
yeah,
you're saying, "Hey, I live in the UK and this is my address." It's actually going to like make sure it's in the right format, which is great.
which is amazing. Amazing. And yeah, I really think that it'll be a little, if we can just doing it from the website, we'll be able to just export all of that stuff. It should be, you know, years past we've had to kind of watch how many people are in it, and we always kind of go over a little bit, which is fine. Which is fine, but this time we can just say there's 1,000 spots available and kaputs, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. Should we tell him the second thing that's a little different?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. This year we are actually separating the international participants with the United States and Canadian participants. What we've noticed in the years past is that most of these struggles have been from international to the United States. That
Connect
exchange,
or sending from the US internationally.
yeah, yeah,
Or
that like
yeah,
over the sea. Overseas has been a little bit of a struggle. So what we're actually going to do is group United States and Canada together and then group the rest of the world. And the rest of the world will actually be managed by somebody else. Um,
yeah. It's happening behind the scenes. So ideally it's not something that you need to like worry about or like who do I need to contact if this is wrong? Like you're still going to contact us through the email account. It's all the same. The Instagram account, it's all the same. And anything else like and they'll be able to look up, hey, where are you located? What, they'll be able to find that out. So
I thought we were gonna have a different email address for the international.
no, we're not going to. We're going to keep it all the same.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, so we're really excited to bring on Sephora,
Yeah.
um, to help us with that. She's offered to do that, and she lives internationally now, so that's helpful. Um, and so she kind of can, I don't know, but I don't know. It'll be great to kind of have that just behind the scenes. But what does that mean for you guys? That means that like if you are like in years past, we would be like, would you like to ship internationally? And now that's not going to be an option. If you live in the United States, you can ship to Canada, but that
Yeah.
is
So
still
basically the listings look like there's a United States slash Canada entry option. And
okay.
then within that listing, there is a shipping preference. I would like to stick within my country, or I'm willing to ship outside of my country. So what that would mean is if you're in the US, I want to stick in my country, you're only going to ship somebody domestically. You're not going to ship to Canada. If you are in the US and you are willing to ship outside your country, you're only going to potentially be assigned somebody in Canada, but you're not going to get somebody in Europe, for instance.
Yeah.
So we're kind of keeping those two tied together. And then the same thing holds true. Like if there's not enough people to assign you, so if you say, "Hey, I'm willing to ship outside my country, I'm in the US," there's no guarantee that you will get somebody in Canada because the numbers may not math
Add
that
up.
way. There might not be enough people to give to folks willing to send to Canada, for instance. Um, anybody located in the US or Canada, they're going to fill out that entry form. And then there's a separate entry for international, which is everybody else, like Becca mentioned, rest of the world. And then that option, it's a little bit more, it's a little bit different because, we can't guarantee that you're going to stay within, let's say you're in the United Kingdom. We can't guarantee that you can only stay within the United Kingdom, but basically there's an option that you can say, I want to stick
Closest
to,
available.
yeah, close to my country is basically what it is. I
Yeah.
want to send close to my country. And then the other option is I'm willing to send anywhere except US and Canada.
Yeah.
So,
And just so you know, if you live in Australia, New Zealand is your closest country. I just want you to know that because that has actually been like something in the past that people are like, I live in Australia and oh, and I'm shipping to holy shit balls, that's so loud. And I'm shipping to New Zealand and I've never shipped there before. Uh if that happens, like let's say you live in a country and you say I need to ship to the closest area and we have to put you someplace else, please contact us
It there
if the reason that you want to ship close financial or anything like that.
Yeah, there's a note option in the listing. So when you purchase it, you can put a note in there to say, I have never shipped outside of my country and I would prefer not to. You can say
Yeah.
like ship as close as possible, but you know, like put a note in there if you have anything extra you wanna make
Yeah.
sure we are aware of. There's also, just like we've done I think last year was the first year we did it, but there's an option that you can specify that you're willing to ship a second item. So, like we said, there's some people, circumstances come up, they can't send something, and we find out from somebody who has not received anything at the end of the year or we had the deadline in place, but if they don't receive anything by the end of the year, that's usually the time that we're like, hey, you know, did you reach out to your person? And they either get ghosted or whatever. And if you're willing to ship a second item, you're on our list so that we could contact you and find out if you're able to and willing to send to somebody. Um, and we will pay that shipping cost for you to, help you out since you're generously sending another item. So that'll still hold suit. So that's not different this year, but it's still going to be on the form. So you're going to see that when you apply, and you'll notice that that's an option.
You know what might be cool? I'm just spitballing here. Since we are doing it through Square this year, like by like your oh, by the way, when you buy the item, you're gonna have to put in your shipping address and it's gonna be like you're shipping something, but that's just how we're getting your address.
Hmm.
Just so you know. But it would be cool if we like how could figure out how much it costs to do like text reminders. Because then we could send
Hmm.
like a text reminder on the day that you have to send out and be like, just a reminder, you know?
I mean, can you? I don't know if you could do this. Can you bulk mark items as complete? We can probably mark everything as complete on the deadline and put a little message with it to say, I don't know if you could put a message with it in bulk, but
Yeah, we'll figure that out. But yeah, I mean, like I think it's going to be a really good opportunity for us to do it through the website. I think there's a lot of options.
yeah, I feel like
Options.
we're like not like Stone Age. Stone Age was like taking DMs from people on
Oh my
Instagram and
God.
making our own list. That was year one.
Can we tell the story about that really quick for the peeps that don't know?
Sure.
Okay, we decided to do this and it was like on a whim, I feel like. We were like, let's just do this. And so Ryan and I just kind of, I think maybe it was on the podcast. I don't know. But we just kind of like put a note out and we were like, hey, we're going to do this. If you want to sign up, shoot me a message.
We said, yeah, message us with your name, your shipping address, your email,
Yeah.
and whether you're willing to send international or not.
I don't even know if
I
we
don't even
did
know
that.
if we had that option on there.
I don't even know if we had any international people. And I'm sure Lindy was
We didn't
international.
set a cap or anything. I think we just,
Yeah, and then well no, we did. We were like we're gonna do 100 and it was like in the olden days when you sell out or I guess people do it now, but you have like only 100 items and you sell out in like 2 hours and you're like what the fuck? Like that's what it felt like. And I was taking every single DM and I was transferring them to a Google sheet. It was awful, but it was also exhilarating. Um and I think we had like 117 the first year, some shit like that. It was
oh
something.
my gosh. I was trying to track down if we even had, yeah, 2018 Instagram pot swap. We yeah, recip email. We took their Instagram name, their name, their address, this um did they live international? Are they shipping international? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely wild. And
Man.
like compared to now, where we're doing literally 10 times that,
Yeah.
it's just insane to me.
We even put there was a column for arrival status. I said received on the way, sent, emailed. We were manually emailing people.
Yeah.
I think we set up like a Gmail template with
Yeah,
everything, and
we
then
did.
we were manually doing all the emails for all of it. Oh my gosh. We did that
Yeah.
was before we had a pot swap email, a separate one. We were
Yeah,
doing
so
this all
that
through Wheel Talk, I think.
yeah, so that went it went from 100 people to 200 people to 400 people to 700 people.
Maybe 400 to 800.
No, we had 700 one year.
Okay. And
And
then I
then I
think we
think
bumped it to 1,000.
then we bumped it to 1,000. And this year we're actually doing 1,200.
1,200, yeah.
Because we're doing 200 international since we haven't had a ton of international in the past, and then 1,000 domestic. So
1,000 US and Canada.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I forget what.
That's a
Oh yeah,
lot of
yeah.
that's a lot of people.
The first year I got it was that one mug. I don't know if I still have that mug or not. I'm sure I do. It was that one mug that was like paper thin and it was hand built and it was so beautiful. I
Mm.
remember that.
I can't remember who I got the first year.
You
Was it Andrew Linderman? Maybe that's the
was it?
second. Maybe that was the second year.
Yeah.
I mean, I got
Because
the
the
list right
couple
here.
years, so the first couple years, Ryan and I actually chose.
Choose.
Ryan and Ryan and I actually chose who each other got without telling each other, and it was kind of like a little fun surprise. The last couple years, my person has just been completely random. I think Ryan's has too. I don't know.
It actually doesn't have the email on here of who sent to me the first year, so I can't tell because we took it out of the list.
Oh
We were
yeah,
both looking at the list, so I think we
yeah.
actually it looks like the first year was about 116 people.
It was somebody atmospheric. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
I have the name on the tip of my tongue and I
I'm
cannot
sure.
figure it out.
Yeah. Can't
Yeah.
remember.
So anyway,
So 1,200 spots, and the way that the listing works is it's got the stock control in there, so it's gonna stay live until all the spots are full.
mhm.
If all the US and Canada spots are full, please do not purchase an international one just because your spots are full. If you're still in US and Canada, you can't purchase an international one. I don't even think it'll let you, but
Yeah, I don't think it'll let you because of the way we set up the shipping. So, yeah. Should we should do we should
talk about one of our sponsors
yeah, we should do that and
that
then we'll
helps make
go
this
over
podcast a thing.
the timeline. Yeah. So, Ryan,
Becca.
have you had any kiln issues that you've had to look up on the LNL website recently?
Well, I did actually look up when my element went out. I was looking up error codes because the old kiln, it was reading an error code back when my elements had sagged together and touched one another
Oh yeah,
before
yeah.
they upgraded the newer models don't have that issue, but the older models do. And looked up the error code. I've also got the manual for the Genesis one, and it's got, similar error codes and stuff like that. But um I've looked that up before. You look up what the error code is, it's got, some of its paper documentation. You could also the video documentation is pretty good. So they've really been improving that over the years, especially the last year or so. Um, Having tutorials, if you're curious about replacing elements and all that, I've shared videos of doing that, but I'd really go to the source of the folks that actually make the kiln. Here's what you should be doing. That's where I learned that, you're supposed to stretch your element a little bit instead of putting it in and then stretching it as you go. A nice even stretch. Oh, I had a funny
Yeah.
story about that.
And you know what? I heard a good hack for that. I
What's
think
that?
it was
Probably not the way that I did it. Go ahead.
probably not. Somebody I talked to said that you should, like the first time you stretch them, like when you stretch it, I actually haven't been on, I don't have, this is my first elemental kiln, so I haven't replaced any elements yet, but if you put a tape line on one end and then a tape line on the other end where you stretch it, then you can always know how far you needed to stretch it
Ooh, I like that idea.
on the floor. And that way you can kind of just like put it on the
Especially when
floor.
you're doing six of them or however many elements, it's
Yeah.
easy to know.
Yeah, exactly. So that way, yeah, so put just a little piece of tape on the floor, someplace you maybe don't walk all that much, and that way you can stretch your elements to the exact same length every single time.
Do you want to hear what I did?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, so it's only one element. It's not like super long because it's only one band. So it goes around. It's about, I don't know, how long would you say? It's probably like 7 feet long, maybe 8 feet long. So maybe 7 feet, we'll say.
Yeah,
I don't know. So I was stretching it, but I was like, okay, I need to like put it around something so that I can.
you put it around your fucking kiln.
No, no, no. I put it around
Oh,
my foot.
oh no!
And water elements are round, right?
God, Ryan.
So I was doing it. I was stretching it like kind of like you would do like a band or something. Like if you're doing like a extension, a TheraBand or a workout band,
Yeah.
and it
I'm s
flung out from under my foot, and it whipped up and it hit me right on the top of the nose.
Oh no. Oh
I
no.
had a nice little nose bruise for maybe a week, but it didn't break my glasses or anything. But that was not a nice experience. So don't
You're
do that.
lucky. You're lucky you were wearing your glasses, honestly.
Yeah. It was rounded. Yeah, bam, hit me right in the bridge of the nose.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Yeah,
Nope. Don't do that.
maybe hold it with a friend that has a good grip,
Yeah.
or I don't know. I feel like attaching it to something might. I don't know, but
You could put a vice grip on the end and then just put it under like a glaze bucket, the vice grip, and then pull it from that. Would
yeah,
work.
because yeah, it's a little risky.
Little risky. Make sure you wear your safety glasses.
Yeah, I would recommend that glasses or gloves or something. Yeah,
You know
all of the
what?
above.
The kiln, my kiln is the Mr. Baby kiln. Um, the plug and fire is about to go on its first extended
Ooh,
extended travel time.
road trip.
Road trip. Because I'm leaving the Beals at the end of this week, which does not seem real at all, and I'm a little sad. But yeah, so yep. And I have a generator for it. I'm really excited to I'm
Have
gonna
you
be
actually used it on the generator just to test it?
no, not yet. And because I haven't had
Hmm.
to, um, I have to get I have to get like okay, here's my biggest issue is that I am extremely sensitive to smells. And and I mean Ryan knows this, but the
Yeah.
vein is obviously a box. And so if I get gas, I can't get any gas on the inside of the van or else I will get sick while I drive. So I'm still trying to like I'm a little nervous about that. I'm still
I have a solution.
what's that?
You just need to siphon gas out of your gas tank before you use it.
You know what? That's not a bad solution, actually, honestly.
Are there like safe siphons that you could do? But I feel like the vehicle that you have is probably safe to being siphoned. I don't know that it would just let you do that.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I was also thinking about getting those. They have those gas cans that you can attach to the back of your vehicle,
Yeah.
and they're like flatter. They're like flatter, and then you can attach it and you can lock it. So I was thinking about that. But also, if I know I'm going to like fire, I can just go fill up the generator with gas
Hmm.
and then go to where I
It
need to
probably
go.
doesn't hold that much, I would suspect.
It holds
Like
like a gallon.
a gallon, yeah.
So if anybody has any suggestions about a smell-proof gas can, you just let me know.
Yeah,
And
because you're sleeping in that and everything, and you don't, yeah, you couldn't deal with the smell of gas just in the
no.
vehicle. That's not good. That's
One
not good
time
for
we
you, anyways.
were on a road trip and I accidentally got gas on my hand while we were pumping gas. And we had to like stop for 15 minutes so I could like wash my hands and like get all the stuff off. It was horrible. If
Yeah. I don't even think that works normally. It's just time and I guess it evaporates or something. I don't know, but yeah, I've accidentally got it in the car too, and it's like, oh,
awful,
yeah,
awful. Anyway, the thing that I'm excited the most about my little tiny plug-in fire is that I can take it's two parts and I accidentally exploded a little bit of clay in there last week. And so just it was something stupid, not anything important. But I'm really excited that I can take the top off and just sweep the bottom out
mm,
and I don't even have to vacuum it. That's really
that's
exciting.
true. That's
It's
good. I
very
hadn't thought
exciting.
about that.
Yeah, and how it just packs up so nicely. So I'm really stoked about lining up the whole van to see how it kind of travels with literally everything in it. So, yep.
Looking forward to it. Nice.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, where can you find all the things for your kiln needs?
Hotkilns.com.
iTunes.com. Anyway, back to our scheduled program. So, one day I kind of want to do a an ad and try to sound like Taylor.
Good luck.
L&L. Blah 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 blah. They're so good. I just can't. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's tough to match.
It's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh
Do you want to talk timeline or do you want to talk design contest? I kind of
ooh.
want to talk design contest because I don't know if people are sticking around this long, but
Yeah, let's talk design contest.
all right. So last year we did the t-shirt design contest for the first time. I think we got 50 entries, 48 entries. I can't remember. I think it was 49, but a lot of interest. And it's a way for those folks that have creative illustration skills that want to kind of bring the spirit of pot swap to, some imagery that you can submit. So the winner ends up with the design on a t-shirt. That's what the t-shirt was for 2023. It was Haley Makes she's in Florida, Haley underscore makes on Instagram. So you can go to our Instagram and see her image and her account if you want to see what you're up against. Um, yeah. So we've got a deadline for when people need to submit those. And then we've got some awards for the folks whoever ends up winning. So, do you want to go through like what the rules are for it?
Yeah. So I'm just honestly gonna read our rules. Um so I don't get it all messed up. But all designs submitted will be shared and voted on a bracket style through our Pot Swap official Instagram stories starting the week of October 28th. One submission is allowed per person. We're doing this because last year we had a lot of submissions from like 7 submissions from one person, something like that. We're just trying to, streamline it a little bit. So pick your best one and send it. And
Yeah, because it became hard because we were doing head-to-head matchups, and you don't want the same person against themselves in the final, for instance. So
yeah,
we had to kind of weed out people that submitted. I think we got at max 5 from somebody, and then some folks submitted 2, and they weren't that different from one another. It was just a different color variation. So just
yep,
submit one,
yep.
and that'll do it. And we'll do the bracket. So it'll be like a March Madness bracket where you get randomly assigned, you go against whoever, and then you're on to the next round, and then all the way up until we get one winner. So
Yep. Okay, so the words or the phrase pot swap 2024 needs to be somewhere in the graphic, and your business handle or name, your name or handle, so we can give you credit on your design if your design is chosen. So make sure like you have it on the bottom or whatever, just so that we all know. Um, do you want to say that what the winner gets? Oh,
Oh,
wait, there's one more rule that's not in here. Please don't use AI. Uh,
oh yeah, we didn't put that in there.
don't
Yeah.
be that.
We can't guarantee that there were AI used last year, but there were suspicions from folks that commented to us when they saw designs and they were like, was that AI generated? I'm not sure. And these days, a lot of times you can't tell. So,
They could have been
like,
just, they could have been phenomenal. Um,
yeah, it's just, please don't use AI. We want
yeah,
to see what you can actually do creatively. I get it if you're going to use like Procreate or do it digitally and you're drawing on an iPad or whatever, but like, don't just request AI from something that looks a certain way. Or if you do suspicious, if you are suspicious that somebody's using AI, then don't vote for that person's graphic. I
yeah,
mean,
that's easy.
that's why we leave it to the voting. It's all up to you if you want to contribute to voting for who you think's best, then go that route.
And we know that you guys are good enough to not use AI. So we just know that.
Yeah, y'all got skills.
Yeah,
I'm not
y'all,
a drawer, so I'm not gonna submit an entry, but there's plenty of you folks out there that can, and all
these
power to
last year
you.
so amazing. Like they were so good.
Yeah.
Oh, we thought they were amazing. That was, I think that was my favorite part of last year, and I think this will be my favorite
Yeah.
part.
And
Okay,
also, you don't. The only other rule we didn't mention it. You don't have to actually be a participant in PodSwap this year to submit. Anybody can submit.
yeah,
So if you have a good illustrator friend that wants to submit, hey, they can still submit their entry. Like I don't know that we got anybody that was outside of the actual PodSwap participants to do it, but yeah, that's fun. Okay, so the winner will receive. I don't know if you can actually hear that on the thing because it blocked out background noise. Drum roll.
drummed. Okay, you
The
do the first
winner,
one, I'll do the second one, and then
okay, the winner will receive a free t-shirt with their design for PodSpot 2024,
a ceramic piece from me,
a ceramic piece from me.
and then a gift card to an online ceramic supply store. We do not know the exact amount, and we do not know the store yet. But
Yeah. I think it was about 50 bucks from Clay King last year.
yeah, and so
We
we'll
shall
see.
see what happens this year.
We'll be reaching out to Clay King first, but
Yeah.
and then Ryan, the last one,
$100 cash money.
money. That's
So
what your
we
500
add,
is going towards.
yeah.
Five
Your, your $5 hairs is going to the winner of the partially to the winner of the design contest.
Yeah.
So that's what we got. The deadline, because we're starting to have the voting happen the week of October 28th. The deadline is going to be Sunday, October 27th, 11:59 Eastern. Go
Yep.
ahead and send that over to us via email to potswapofficial@gmail.com. That's the official Potswap email for everything. And the format, please send well, we're going to ask you for a vector if your design is chosen because it makes it easy to put it in for the t-shirt printing and it's going to look the best quality. But if you don't have a vector for the entry, you can submit the entry in a different format, but because it's going on Instagram stories. So if you want to submit it like JPEG or PNG or SVG or whatever, you can do that. Um, yeah.
And
I mean,
I
have a good quality so that it's going to register well
yeah,
through
yeah.
social media because otherwise it could look off or whatever.
And by the time you're hearing this on the podcast, we'll already be advertising the contest. So, because we want to give you guys as much time as possible to design things. So you'll already see it, but now
Yeah.
you know you get a win, you know.
Yeah, you'll have about a month or so to put in your entry. So by the time you're hearing this, you'll have about 3 or 4 weeks.
And fret not. When the design is chosen, Ryan will be choosing the shirt. So it will be the highest quality shirt that you
This
could.
shirt was fucking good last year. I don't know. Did you try the different shirts?
I don't even think I got a shirt.
What are you talking about? I thought you did.
I don't have one here.
Oh,
Maybe it was
well,
sent to your house. I bet you have it.
I don't know that I have one.
I should probably buy myself a shirt.
They're still up, but the only one that's up, I think, is the 100% cotton one.
Yeah, I think that last year we actually gave two options. We gave a 100% cotton one and we gave another one.
A tri blend because I'm apparently a shirt snob that can't deal with 100% cotton because I want a shirt that I'm gonna actually wear more than like 3 times.
Yeah. So Ryan, yeah, and we could not decide, and everybody was like, I like cotton, I like tri-blend. So we just put both options up so you can choose which one you want.
And what ended up happening is the tri blend actually went out of stock to a point. They started dwindling the sizes and
Yeah.
they started running out. So it was good that we had a backup option because
Yeah.
some sizes were only available in the cotton. And the color was a little different too. I think I liked the color of the tri blend better.
Yeah.
The cotton looked a little bit flatter, but
I don't think I got a fucking shirt. Now I'm pissed. I need to,
you can order one. We can get a sample from 2023 if you
yeah.
still want one. They're still up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. We'll order one and I'll just pick it up. I'll just get it when I come to your house. Um,
Yeah.
anyway.
So yeah, that's it. I don't know. We can do we want to recap the changes that are listed here? And then or do we want to read the other things to keep in mind section that we all of this information that we're reading off. Oh, we didn't do the timeline yet either. We need to do the timeline. All this information is on our website. So go to wheeltalkpodcast.com/potswap. All of the stuff that's on here is on the website.
Yeah. Okay, let's do the timeline. Get your pens out for notes. I'm kidding. We know half of you are throwing. Um, okay, so October 5th should be today. Wheel Talk podcast episode is released. I mean, if you're listening to this immediately, which some of you are. And then October 7th through 9th, the Pot Swap 2023 participants are going to be emailed with details and calendar reminder to sign up for the Pot Swap. But this year, signups, there's no early registration. Everybody's signing up at the same time, and that is going to be October 13th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. PodSwap 2024 signups open up for everybody.
Yeah, that's gonna be on our website. So you're gonna go to wheeltalkpodcast.com. You'll see the link. I mean, all that information's on that page, but you'll see it on the homepage. There'll be listings in our on the homepage in the featured section. So you'll be able to see the entries. You'll see the USA, Canada one. You'll see the international one. Pick the one that's applies to you. Purchase that, and then that's going to ensure your spot.
Yep.
And that's all going to be available October 13th, 12 p.m. Eastern. That's a Sunday, which is what we did last year as well.
Yep.
So adjust your calendars accordingly. Last year, I think all of them filled, I think in 24 hours.
I think you're right. I
So it
assuming because it's $5, we're gonna fill less quickly, but I don't know.
there's no guarantee. I don't know.
We don't
I
know.
assume too. I'm like, okay, it's gotta last like 3 or 4 days, right? There's no way we're gonna
Nobody knows. No.
sell. But to some people, it's like, oh, well, I gotta get in there because they're like, I know there's only this many spots. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, we are gonna, didn't you put a like low, you put low, um,
low stock alerts.
low quantity? If you see low quantity, that means there's less than 50 people left.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
You
So
can technically you can like change. I don't know. Did you know this on Square? You can change the quantity. Like if you go in there and you put 1,000 in the quantity, it'll readjust to the number that's actually available.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
if you want to do that, you can know how many are left. But
um, anyway. Also, please only choose the quantity of one. Please, 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 please.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh well, I want to send two things, so I'm just gonna put two on here.
Yeah. And if
You're
I know this is a pain in the ass, but if like you and your spouse want to send two different things, please sign up twice.
like separate names.
Separate names, separate like credit card statements situation. Okay. And then October 18th through the 20th is the official You're In emails. And we have to remind people every year we can only send 400 emails at a time. So if you don't get it on October 18th, that doesn't mean you won't get the email. If you don't get it by October 20th, that does mean you won't get the email. So wait until October 20th to send us an email asking us questions.
You
Uh
should, I mean, you should also feel confident if you submitted the entry
yeah.
and you put your email in there, you should get an email confirmation back. We haven't had that ability with Google Forms in the past, so this is doing it on the website. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you should feel good about getting your spot if you get a confirmation email, which, you know,
Yep.
you get
Okay.
regardless. So,
Then October 30th through November 1st, again, 400 a day. Um, Hot swap assignments are going to be emailed out. And then December 5th is a shipping deadline for everyone. We
yeah,
have,
before we had international and we had domestic, we're just making the same deadline for everybody. It's December 5th.
yep. We figured the 5th would be an easy day because it's the number five. Um,
Yeah, it's kind of later in the week. It's a Thursday, I think. So,
yeah. Okay. Then on December 19th through the 21st, the pot swap sender reveal email out. You want to explain the sender reveal email and why we do that?
yeah, so once we get later in the month, you're getting antsy. You're maybe wondering, hey, have they sent anything? Have they not? I got something, but I didn't get their information. They didn't put a card in there or anything. I want to know who sent to me. That's what this email's for. It's to give you the information of the person who is assigned to send to you so that you can make that connection. You can reach out to them if you haven't received anything yet and check on your your shipment and be like, "Hey, I'm just reaching out. I saw that you're assigned to me. I'm anxiously waiting for your item to see what she sent." So like we're kind of putting this on you to reach out to the folks if you haven't received anything yet. And then if you want to just reach out to them and thank them for sending it, we also encourage you to do that regardless. Like if you receive something, hopefully, like please put your information in there so people know how to reach out to you and
Yeah.
thank you because a lot of times these go without thank yous and you know, it's hard to reach out to you if you don't put your info in the box with it. So those emails will go out so you can reach out to those folks. And then if you need to reach out to us, I would say wait until the end of usually the end of the year is kind of when we say, hey, you reached out to your person, they ghosted you, or they said that they sent it, but they didn't, and or I haven't received it or whatever. That's when you should, contact us and say, hey, I didn't receive anything, and this is what's going on. Like, you know,
When
they
should
didn't.
you know what we didn't talk about that we're going to hash out right now is last year we really wanted to have a I never got anything end date. Like because
Oh, you need to tell us
yeah,
by.
we were getting emails like well into February being like, I never got my pot. And we're like,
I
well,
think past that, honestly, we got emails in March, I think.
yeah. So I think the limit, tell me, I don't know.
Here, I'm gonna put it in the chat and you tell me.
Okay. Yes. Oh my God. I was thinking the exact same thing. January 15th. January 15th. I was gonna push it to January 30th and I was like, no, it's too much time. Um, January 15th is going to be the deadline. Are you updating it in the notes or should I?
No, I'm just looking at in relation to Click on West. When is that? Okay. Jan 15.
January 15th is the deadline for you to reach out and say, "Hey, I haven't received a pot." We yeah, eventually it's like we basically just don't want this to be the pot that never ends.
Yeah.
So,
Deadline to let us know you haven't received anything.
yeah.
Do and we would hope that you would have at least made contact or like reached out to that person. Like please if you haven't received anything that or late December timeframe when you get their information, like please reach out. You have to at least make a make an effort to reach out to them
Yeah.
first. Like please do that. Um and the reason we're having that deadline of Jan 15 is because we need to tell our folks that are willing to send a second pot, hey, we've got somebody that you could send to. Here's their
Yeah.
information here so you can, because otherwise we're asking people to send a second pot into February and March. Like it keeps snowballing and keeps going. And it feels like there should be a deadline of when we should kind of like
Cut it off
cut it off. So
for sure. Yes, I
yeah.
feel it about
And
putting
then
that
what's that?
feel at ease
Yeah.
with
And then shortly after that, we usually send a feedback survey out so we get some general feedback from you. Last year we kept it pretty short and sweet. We'll do that again this year, I think, to
yeah.
get any, if there's feelings either way, positive, negative, if you didn't receive something, we'll have an option on there so you can let us know that you didn't get anything.
Yeah. But if you didn't get anything and you haven't reached out to us, you should before January 15th so that you
Yeah.
can and just so you know, when you email, you are primarily emailing me. That is my job. I'm the email lady. So
I'm the mail merge guy.
Ryan's the mail merge guy. He does all the mail merge situations, and I deal with all the communications, which could be good for us and also could be bad.
I do a little bit with communication with the volunteers just to make sure we got people signed up for the spots, but
Do a lot of the,
or or if
but
there's any issues that come up in Instagram,
yeah.
sometimes I'll check in there. Becca also checks in there. So
But as far and if you need something, if you have a question about something, the quickest way to get an answer is actually email. It is not Instagram. So keep that in mind. There are volunteers doing Instagram. There is Becca doing email. So, and
mhm.
I check it every single day. So, yep.
Yeah,
So anyway, yeah, that's the situation.
that is everything. Whew.
Okay, Ryan,
Do you want to mention anything in the notes at the bottom? Do you like talking about the shipping stuff? We talked about the value 25 to 50. Anything about shipping outside of your country, customs kind of stuff?
Well, typically with customs, like when you are shipping internationally, so this will apply to people shipping to Canada as well. And anything internationally, you want to make the item valued under $20 and under, and you have to mark it as a gift. Do not mark it as a like I don't know, like a
They think that you're selling a product otherwise, and customs is
yeah,
going to want a cut of that because they're going to be like, "Hey, the buyer needs to pay a cut to us because you know, you're paying for a product and not paying custom
yeah,
fees for it to
right.
receive it."
Yeah, and so and then we also have the tariff code for stoneware pottery. I'm not gonna say it because it's long, but it's on our Instagram and it'll be in the emails. It'll be everywhere. And if you again, we had some issues last year. If your pot is stuck in customs or some crap like that and you have to pay some money and you don't have the money, don't send the pot back. Pay for it if you can somehow, and we will
We
re
will help you out. We will reimburse you
yeah.
within
Let
reason. Like
yeah,
also Also, if you're trying to ship something and you're like, this is telling me it's going to be
300.
$100 or $200 to ship it, don't
Do
use that shipping service. Use
not use.
something else.
No, if you're shipping to Canada, I mean, it still applies for international, but if you're shipping to Canada from the United States, do not use UPS. Don't use UPS. Use USPS, United States Postal Service. If it is under 2 pounds in a reasonably sized box, it will be $27. And that is what you should pay.
Yeah. And you don't need like, if you pay for tracking, that's extra money. Sometimes that can be nuts. So, go with the cheapest reasonable option, pack it well. But if you're shipping further, obviously the weight's a big factor. So,
Yep,
some people go above and beyond and pack them like crazy. Like Becca always does that.
I
But
do.
yeah, just even if you're butting up to that deadline, like don't make hasty decisions to spend $200 to ship something because you want to meet the deadline. Like use a little common sense, take a breath. If you need to reach out to us and ask us, hey, it's going to be this much to do it, we're going to basically say, hey, find a cheaper option, or we can help a little bit, but
Yeah,
we're going to basically try to get you to a place where you don't have to spend that much for shipping.
yeah,
Nobody should be spending that much to ship
yeah.
a
And
pot.
and when in doubt, contact the person receiving it, you know? And if you don't want to contact them yourselves, have a friend do it. Don't have us do it. Have a friend do it. Have them send them an email or have them send them an Instagram message saying, "Hey, my friend has you through Pot Swap, and we wanted to let you know that it's gonna like this is the tracking number or this is
You should
this."
expect it. So if you get some, yeah, usually I don't know what they do in other. I'm guessing they put a little form in your mailbox and say, "Hey, you've got something to be picked up," or like we have it where they do it at the local post office. So I get a little slip and I gotta go pick it up at the post office or whatever.
Right. Yeah, just don't be afraid to communicate. And to, have a friend send a message or even you send a message. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, they
And
still probably don't know what you're sending.
yeah,
Yeah, they know it's you maybe, but it's
yeah.
fine.
So yeah, just common sense and we would love that. We would love that for everybody. And
Yeah, previously last year we did it where you were shipping one to one with people if you fell in this certain group of folks, and we decided to do it more random again this year, so we kind of brought the randomness back, and
yeah, we have
we'll
faith.
yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. What are you I think that's about it. Oh, you know what we should do? We should, I feel like I keep finding things that we can talk about. Um if you are packing up things or if you're, if you get your piece and you want to share, please tag us and use the hashtag PotSwap2024.
Yeah, our Instagram account is Pot Swap Official. That is it. It doesn't look fancy with the profile image, but that's us.
That's
We
us.
probably need to update that.
That's us.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and if you use the hashtag, then you can search that hashtag and see all of the different pot swaps that are going around the countries and in the world and all the things. So that's really exciting.
hmm Yeah. And I feel like we mentioned this earlier, but like we always get feedback that folks don't even know that their pot arrived safely. A lot of things get sent, but they have no acknowledgement that they received it. So, senders are like, "Oh, did they just not like it because they didn't even say anything? I didn't see them post it. They didn't tag me." Like none of that. So try to at least acknowledge and let them know that it arrived safely. Hopefully thank them for sending it. You know,
Yeah.
participating is yeah, like you're all doing
What
this. You should be appreciative of somebody sending something.
I think that what we hope the most, and I say we because I know that Ryan agrees with this, is that you approach this with a heart of giving instead of a heart of receiving. And you know, it is all about blessing another human being and just having fun and sharing your work and your life and maybe a little bit about yourself, like write a note. I will be the first one to tell you that one of my favorite gifts that I've ever received from Pot Swap was a gift that a professional potter did not make. And they were so very intentional on what they made for me, and it was so thoughtful. And it was not the best piece I've ever gotten in my life, but it was probably the most enjoyable piece that I've received. Also, there was caramel.
It
And
doesn't hurt.
doesn't hurt. Uh, so just you may like we've also had a lot of people say like I think it'd be really great if you matched up uh talent and we
Similar talent levels, and you'd have to make tiers of people, and
yeah, we will never do that because everybody deserves a spot. Everybody deserves to get an amazing pot and everybody deserves to meet a new potter.
yeah.
That
We
that's
don't I don't want to be the arbiter of what level you fall at. Plus you're self-identifying what level you're at. Like, how do you draw the lines? Like,
you don't.
nobody is going to be happy with that.
Yeah. So we really just encourage you to come into this with an open mind and just let your pot and maybe a letter or how you package it speak for itself and how enthusiastic you are and how you love pottery, and that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. I've had pots that I've sent that people don't even know that I'm the organizer of it. I don't even think they don't even know who I am.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's
And
been great.
honestly, I think I've only been tagged like a couple times. So, a lot of I still kind of fall in that group of I don't even know, like they haven't acknowledged that they received it. So I'm kind of in that boat of did they like it? I think they got it because I had tracking, but like I don't
Yeah.
know. What do they think about it? So
And you don't have to go above and beyond, by the way. You don't have to go above and beyond. Like you don't have to put 12 pots in there. You can just put like one pot, like a good pot or
yeah.
pot you love the most and add a note. That is good enough.
Hmm.
But you can also go above and beyond if you want to.
Yeah. And it is a holiday time frame, but don't feel like people that you're sending to may not celebrate the same holidays you do. So
Be respectful.
maybe keeping them neutral of, Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, like keeping it neutral is probably the better way to go than
Yeah.
making it super Christmas, for instance.
Or religious. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We try to keep it neutral ground as far as religion is concerned. Just because there's a lot of people all over the world that don't have the same religious
Yeah.
that we do. So like, however you celebrate or
Yeah.
do.
And if you're not sure what to do, I mean, a lot of people send cups or mugs or bowls or functional things, but I mean, use your creativity. You can do whatever, honestly.
Yeah. I think we can end with that. Wait, I have one more question. What are you excited about this year? Like what's the thing that you're looking forward to this year? It can even be like if something works or not.
Ooh. I'm excited to see how quickly the spots go. I
Okay.
I'm skeptical that they're gonna sell super quickly. I
Okay.
I feel like 3 days is reasonable, but there's no guarantee. I was thinking when we were gonna release the episode, we were gonna make the listing live, and it was gonna be live for the you know 3 weeks of October because it was gonna take forever to fill it. So like that's what I'm from like a behind the scenes hosting side of PodSwap. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. But as a participant, I think I think I'm gonna put a soda piece in there this year.
Uh,
So I'm looking forward to that as a participant.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
I'm I'm looking forward to the design contest. I'm really excited to see that. I really love that aspect of it every year, especially because I get to like put the design on the shirt and, set that up. And
Did we
uh
mention that it's the design that goes on a shirt, but folks can buy the shirt. I don't know if we said that, but
oh
the shirt will
yeah,
be available for people to buy that want to.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be $20. They're either 20 or 25. We make them one flat price.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Uh
I like that too. We got so many submissions last year. The first time doing it, I didn't know what to expect. I thought we were gonna get maybe 10 or 15. We got
yeah,
almost 50. I was like, oh my gosh.
yeah. And then I think the other thing that I'm kind of excited about is that I will be at my parents' house for Christmas, I believe. So
Mm,
I'm gonna have it sent to my parents' house.
okay. I was
Cool.
wondering what address you were gonna put on there.
Yeah, because I probably won't be able to keep it, you know. That's just kind of what happens. But uh but this way my mom can have it or my dad can have it. So I have to warn whoever's giving it to me, they won't use it, but they will have it. Um, don't worry, they don't use my cups either.
If it's really nice, I can have it, maybe.
Maybe Ryan can have it. Yeah,
I
maybe.
don't know. We'll see.
I don't know if I'll see you after that, so we'll see. But anyway, that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about having a like legit present to open. So
Yeah.
I always have to open a present. Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for listening. I mean, we've been talking about Pot Swap on the podcast over the years, and it's kind of nice to this starts this Pot Swap season for us. I mean, we talked about it for 2 hours before we recorded, but this like kind of officially kicks it off in a way, and it's nice. So,
It's exciting.
and all the folks that help us out, thanks for volunteering. Uh,
Yes.
everybody that does that, Zipporah that's helping out with international this year. Riley is behind the scenes too. She's doing the contest, the design contest. She's been helping us out.
He works with Brian.
Yeah, she's great. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. I think that even though I grumble a lot about podcasts or the pod swap, I think that once it gets going, you realize how many people are involved and how awesome it is. You know,
Yeah.
it's just hard to start. I think that's the problem. It's just hard to
Yeah.
start.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know with the efforts involved, so it's but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll uh we'll get it going. It'll be even better than years past. It just gets better and better.
Huzzah! Yay. Cool.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of Wheel Talk. This podcast is made possible through the contributions of all of our listeners who always ask us great questions, leave us reviews, and contact with us through social media. Thanks to all the fellow makers as well who take time to be interviewed and share about their lives and businesses.
And thank you to Ashley from Boldover Ceramics and Lindy from Lindy Garner Ceramics for their assistance on the Whale Talk Podcast Instagram. You are invaluable. Thank you to everybody.